Hello, everybody, and thank you for watching Does My Bank Still Love Me? My name is Rebecca Shrader, and I'm here with Leeron Liftik.
Hi.
Hello, how are you today?
Good.
Happy Friday.
Yes, indeed it is.
Indeed. The question to begin I'd like to go with is, how did the industry become so disorganized?
Oh, it's a great question. Simple matter of supply and demand. So not enough supply of processes, staff, ideas, and a huge demand for solutions. So, in practice, a huge number of homeowners fell into distress effectively all simultaneously. Lenders were set up to do loans, collect payments, etc. And now most of their clients, or a huge percentage of their clients, need a highly specialized service that requires advanced skill, it requires highly technical knowledge, and it requires a lot of liability on the servicer's behalf. Most of the time they're representing an investor. So not even having the ability to make decisions at a local level, in other words. All coming in at the same time on the same day for a 10 o'clock appointment. And they'll be right back. And they're kind of slowly re-entering the building.
Yes, and it's so important that people hear what Leeron is doing and what this show is all about, because there's not a lot of knowledge out there. So
Yeah.
It's good timing that we're going over this and the next segments, and really want you to tune in for those absolutely as well. How does a homeowner best deal with the bank's disorganization and the frustration of this completed paperwork that gets lost?
Yes. Well, another very good question is to know that that's exactly what's going to happen, and to make choices before you enter the process that accommodate a negative result, an inconsistent or inaccurate result, or an ambiguous result. And so what I mean by that is, a result of, what if they turn it down? In other words, what if they look at my request and, as entitled or justified as I feel that I should be the person getting this, for some reason the lender says no? What are you going to do? What if you get a ambiguous result, meaning they lost my paperwork again, and so I'm faxing it again and following up in 30 days again, and this is the 9th month in a row that this has happened.
Wow.
Right? Or, and this is real, I'm not making this up, this is common. This is not like at all unusual. Or, something that looks like I got a result, but it doesn't work for me. In other words, they're giving me a modification, but it drops my payment $62, and that doesn't work. So knowing that those are the outcomes, and then there's an outcome that looks like they give me just the modification I want for a payment that I can afford, right? That one's an easy one to manage too, right? Everyone can imagine how to deal with that. But to deal with these other things, what there is to do, in my experience, is to just make choices. Arbitrary choices, because guess what? You don't know what's best, and neither do I, because neither one of us knows exactly what's going to happen with you and your lender and the person who reviews your paperwork and the outcome. You just don't know. So either way, the best advice in the world might not produce the result that you intend to have. And so what I kind of say around that, make those choices for what works for you. That sounds like, okay, I'm in distress over my home, I'm 60 days behind. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to modify, and I'm going to work with my bank for 6 months. And if I don't have a result by 6 months, and that means that on the last day before it's the 6-month mark, I call my lender and they say, we just need you to send this pay stub one more time, and then we're going to give you everything you want. You say, it's been 6 months, right? So at 6 months, you start making choices. And those choices might sound like, I'm going to start looking for a new place to live, because I'm going to anticipate that my lender's incompetency or inability to provide me with a result that I'm committed to or that works for me is too great. The emotional cost is too high, and I don't want to deal with, from this side, no way I would deal with 6 months of ambiguity. There's no way, or that's the maximum, right? How do people deal with it for 12? They call us after 12 going, I never would have had I known, right? So you just make those choices that accommodate all those results. And those choices can look like, after 6 months, if they want me to send a pay stub, I'll send a pay stub. But actively, what I'm going to do to create solutions is find a new place, Or actively what I'm going to do is I'm going to hire somebody to help me. Or actively I'm going to file bankruptcy. Or I'm going to start researching. Something that accommodates, what if I don't get what I want in the time frames that I need it? Well, guess what? It's your life. You could still choose to have it be perfect, you know. So that's what I recommend. You just make choices around what works for you and what doesn't. And you should be able to hear that, because it's like, how long would you work on a loan modification? Does 3 months sound reasonable? How about 6? Well, geez, I mean, I guess if it saves my house. 9? Boy, I don't know if I could do that. Would you work on a loan modification for 12 months? No way. How about 15? Hell no. Okay, good. So we know that we're at somewhere between 6 and 12, and that's where we start to create reality around it. And the choice you make now is what's consequential, because in that moment on month 5.99, when they're going, just one more pay stub, that moment will trip you up. And if you don't have that commitment laid out going, no, I already thought about this, the answer is no. Or I'm going to give you the pay stub, but then it's to my property manager, who I already have looking at 6 different properties for 4-bedroom homes that accommodate pets in the Shoreline School District. I already have that in the works. So maybe the bank will work out, but I'm anticipating. It's been 6 months, and I knew 6 months ago I was going to give it 6 months.
Yep. Good assertiveness.
Yeah.
Really helpful. I think we need to take a short break, but I wanted to let the distressed homeowners out there know of this great opportunity. You can email address is info@methodmods.com, and put in the subject line free CD, and they'll send you a CD called Understanding Your Lender's Perspective, and it's excellent information. So I guarantee that you will be very happy if you take that step. We'll be back in a short while.